some jazz today. Yes, you gon' learn, you gon' learn, you gon' learn. It was just past 1, 2, 3 man with a 4, 5 step to the door like, oh my gosh, just throw that cash in a back bag, run around the back.
Hey everybody, it's Liz from the Lemon Bowl.
Vince from Irie Kitchen.
And welcome to the Irie Lemon Podcast. All right. Hello. First episode of 2020.
This is?
Yes. I'm so excited.
Your goal setting one was last year?
Yeah.
Oh,
we were
that was so
a little
last. Goals are so last year.
So last year. Who's even doing those goals anymore?
Wrong podcast to say that on. Sorry.
No.
Crush those goals, guys.
So episode number 16? 17? 16.
Episode 16.
Very special day.
16.
All right. We have a really special guest today, Katie. I don't call you Kate, even though most of the world does. What Kate finds, you can find her on YouTube, Instagram, and now Facebook Live.
Ooh.
So Katie, hello and welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for being
Thank you
here.
for knowing my name, Liz. I'm just kidding. Well, Vince might not know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're probably like, why are you what? Kate
yeah.
Vines?
Yeah.
Is your real name Kate?
No, so my real name is actually Katie.
Oh,
and the
okay.
funny side thing is that a lot of people do call me Kate now, which I get that makes
People,
sense.
because it's like, oh, you're friends with Kate. Kate. And I'm like, who's Kate? Who's Kate? And then I realize,
Right.
yeah.
wow.
So I was trying to make what Katie finds be my Instagram, and
Yeah.
it can, like, I was setting up my YouTube and Instagram at the same time,
Yeah.
which is all like fashion, beauty, lifestyle related. And you can have the same channel name on YouTube, but you can't on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so what Katie
Right.
finds I could have done on YouTube, but someone had like a very small food account
Of course.
somewhere across the country
Oh.
for what Katie finds. And
Okay.
so my dad always used to call me Kate, and so
is
it's
so
a little
cool.
nod to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a ring to it.
And it actually,
does.
now that
You know
I've
what
like
I'm saying?
settled into it, it does sound better.
Because like what Kate finds, I mean,
It sounds
Oh,
better.
my
I
branding brand makes it sound really good.
Right.
Because
One
Katie's kind of like a mouthful a little bit.
One
Yeah.
less syllable.
Yeah, you know. So what Kate finds. Ooh.
It is cool.
More approachable.
Yeah.
And clearly it's worked, because now you're basically famous.
No. Thank you, though.
I can't believe it's been almost 2
Thank you
years.
for saying that my 13,000 subscribers
lot.
is wildly popular.
That is.
I have like 300.
I think
Well-
I have 200, and I've been doing this for 10 years. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it is a lot.
It
It's good.
is. Yeah, you know.
So congrats to you.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
so
you.
3 years. Why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about what you do
Yeah.
and how it got started and everything?
Yeah. So like I said, I talk about beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and I think I started it, I would say 2.5 years ago, YouTube. I've just always been such a fan of YouTube. And I started it as the like very basic creative outlet. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted something for myself. I was a stay-at-home mom who
Right.
had left the career, my corporate career, which was creative-based 5 years prior to that.
Right.
And I had been thinking about starting a YouTube channel to share like things that I love. And I think whenever I would meet up with friends, I always have stuff in the notes on my phone
Yeah.
to discuss with friends.
Right.
So whether it's like our podcast
Exactly.
club or book club or something, I always have like, have you tried this mascara? What do you think about the like Marie Kondo method? What do you think about like,
Yeah.
you know, this and that? And I wanted to be able to have those conversations that I would have with friends just
With other people.
online with other people.
Yeah.
And I think it was more about connection for me because I was so scared that leaving the corporate world to be a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. And I left my job after 2 kids. Well, I had gone back to work after 2, but I left that and I was sort of fearful that I was going to lose connection, that I was going to lose like what was relevant, what's in, what's now, what's pop culture related. You know what I mean? I didn't want to lose that. And so I made myself very in it.
Yeah.
That's
And,
cool.
Yeah.
I am stuck on your brand, like what Kate finds. Like my business brain is going crazy. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Like, I mean, you're already killing it with like a brand, but like
It's so funny because I never even think about it as a brand. Like, I don't know.
well, so like
But
Liz
yeah.
knows I think this way. So
Yes.
Real-
And
like-
you do too.
Yeah.
it's like WKF. Like imagine like
Which
look,
kind of sounds like what the fuck, which
right?
I love
Which is
also.
cool.
Yeah.
So I like.
Yeah, which is,
all right,
which
real
is
quick,
on
guys.
brand.
What's your favorite color?
Gray and beige.
Okay, cool.
My kids hate me.
So like cool, like imagine like a gray little box with WKF on it, what Kate finds, and little boxes that you send out to your subscribers, or like a subscription model business. I think that would be cool. I think brands will pay you because like put their stuff in there, and you're reviewing them or you talking about them. If it's like cool makeup or cool fashion stuff, you could build like a crazy business.
Like a subscription
Look
box.
at that.
Look at that.
Well, downer, I hate subscription boxes.
Oh, then don't do it.
But it's only because I'm newly trying to really acquire less and have
Yeah.
less. My word for the year is less. My year of less. And so subscription box. I have like spicy takes on.
They're always full of junk.
It is.
Is
but
it really bad? I've never had one before.
They're
listen,
awful.
there are some good ones out there, and I think if you are new into skincare or you're new into like trying to find brands or different things,
Or if you want to waste $50 every month and forget about it and be subscribed for 10 years and then all of a sudden you've out 10
See,
years.
that's what happened. Right?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And then
My little sister, God bless her, she has like 20 subscription boxes, but yet like
She doesn't
I
use
can't
any of
go to dinner
them.
tonight.
Listen,
So-
confessions
Love
of
you,
someone
man.
who used to subscribe to so many. I used to subscribe to all of them. I loved them. But after a long time, you realize, like, I got the pink eyeshadow. I'm never going to like just
Yeah.
put it in the
And
box
then
for
you're like trying to
Halloween
trade
that you
them with
never
your
use.
friends. I thought of you
wow.
when I
Yeah.
got this pink eye.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
All right, this is a guy's perspective who doesn't know anything.
No,
about it.
it is. I know your point though.
So many
I'm
people
like, oh my
love
god, it's
them.
amazing! Like, don't girls love it? Because like, I don't go that deep, and then I think
Yeah.
about
Here's
it.
the
Oh my
thing,
god,
though,
pink
I-
eyeshadow! Like, you're like an adult. You can't be wearing pink eyeshadow. Yeah.
Oh, man. But,
That's funny. Okay.
High school, 100% go ahead and do it, but like adult, you got like meeting, you got like
Yeah.
people to see.
So today, what we really wanted, why I really wanted Katie to come on, is because we talk quite a bit about the do's and don'ts of Instagram.
yeah.
Because Instagram is our shared platform, even though like my biggest platform is Pinterest, yours is YouTube. We all love Instagram.
Mine's now Instagram, which is
Is
crazy.
it now?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is, yeah.
So I just think while this does relate to many platforms, we talk a lot about the do's and don'ts of Instagram and just kind of
Right.
people that are maybe not using it what we think is the best way and vice
Right.
versa. And I just thought it'd be really fun to have you on to kind of share a perspective about, a lot of our listeners are aspiring. We have everything from aspiring influencers to business owners, but
Yeah.
also we have a lot of stay-at-home moms that
Yeah.
are just kind of probably gonna
Shout out to
exactly. So we kind of have the whole mix of people,
Right.
But I do think we all, whether we're on Instagram to create content like we all are, or to consume content, we're all on Instagram all the time.
Right. And it's the Wild Wild West. There are no rules.
Correct. Exactly.
There's only opinion and belief and your own personal ethics. And so
Right.
it's so interesting. And there's people that will tell you this is
That's
what you
deep.
should absolutely this is what you should absolutely do. And
Yeah.
then I'm like,
No.
never in my life would I. You know,
Right.
it's interesting.
Oh wow.
Like
So
people
give an example of that. What's something
Well, so
that people
listen.
tell you to do that?
Well, so people say you should niche out, find your niche, find what it is and go narrow and go deep within that narrow.
Yeah.
But what if you don't like that? What if you don't always want to talk about? What did you say?
Really?
If you looked up search terms in food blogging,
Yeah.
like poke cakes?
Poke cakes
Poke
or
cakes or
casseroles.
pudding and stuff.
Exactly.
You're like, if I could make,
Right. If I wanted to go viral and be the biggest Instagrammer, I would be
Right.
doing poke cakes and casseroles and cheesy brownies or all that.
Cheesy-
You get chocolatey. See,
You've
I
heard
can't
it
even do
here.
I mean, like here's savory brownies.
savory brownies.
But like also
keep
there'd
that
be
in.
people that would say, Liz, you shouldn't start travel blogging because you should just focus on food. Well,
Right.
that's what
But
I
that's
travel.
not what you want to
right,
do.
That's not my
You
life.
have to go with what your
Yeah.
passion is, right? And so if I wanted to follow that, so let's think about like YouTube. My most watched video on YouTube, well, 2 of them actually, are about decluttering.
I was gonna say decluttering.
And it's by a long shot. I have, and I don't even know because I don't really stay on top of numbers and analytics and stuff because I honestly don't really care. But I think it's more than 100,000 people have watched this epic closet declutter that I did 2 years ago.
And you never were like, I'm an organization
So
skill.
right, and I think it was probably relatable because I'm not the expert,
Yeah.
which I think is another big tip. You don't
Yeah.
have to be the expert.
Right.
It's more relatable if you're
Yeah.
not. And so I think people like really resonated with the way that I was just like, what the hell? Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just a real person going through their stuff
Right.
Yeah.
and taking you through that process. But if I wanted to try to go viral and I wanted to try to get more followers, like I would just totally pivot my channel to be all about decluttering. But guess what? That would be boring to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Oh my
do
God,
that, you
decluttering
know?
my
What
pantry
cake threw
again.
away this
What Kate tossed. What Kate donated. Tossing things
Yes,
isn't good. That's
exactly.
a whole nother
Shout out to Goodwill.
thing. Goodwill isn't good, actually.
Oh really? Oh my god.
Most of that stuff ends up in landfills.
Are you still
Spicy
approving of
take.
an image or trying to change that up?
In
too?
the image is great.
That's
Find
what
a
I always
donation
thought.
center that gives back. That's
Yeah.
the best way to
Local.
do it.
I've been
Not
getting
a
Goodwill for years,
for-profit.
thinking that I was doing
I
good.
know.
No,
I
Goodwill
thought
for
so
the
world.
too. I thought
Has
so too.
Goodwill in the name. I just
It
thought
does.
It's
yes.
for hipsters to get Halloween costumes for profit.
Yeah, this
a
is
for-profit
all
large
stuff I learned last year, so it's crazy. So yeah, if I wanted to, like, knowing what I know with like a business hat on, I would say I should be making videos about decluttering, or I should even, like, everyone was just posting their top 9 photos. What are your top 9 photos?
Yeah.
Or even not, what are your not top 5 or top 9 liked, but you can look at your engagement.
Right.
Because engagement is actually different than liked,
Correct.
which is the combination of likes and shares and saves and comments and all of that,
the whole thing.
which is a little bit different than just likes. And so I could be creating content just around home decor and nail
100%.
polish because people like that. But that's not my interest.
Right.
That would suck if I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, if
should
I did
talk
that,
about
every
decluttering.
photo would be of me, because all the photos of me.
I was
perform
gonna say
better.
you probably
Right,
'cause
but guess
people-
what? I'm really passionate about encouraging people to cook at home. So there's going to be a
Right.
few photos of food. They'll never perform as well,
Yep.
and that's I don't care.
Yep.
Like if I'm in Jamaica, I'm going to post a photo of a palm tree.
Yep.
Like
And so business wise,
Wow.
I know that the business mindset is you can't be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
Because then you'll be nothing to no one. You
True.
need to have you need to have like
Focus.
a thought, right? A focus.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? In terms of my own personal Instagram, I talk about everything.
Yeah.
There's like not a lot that's off limits. There are some things that are off limits, which I'll get into. Like
Yeah.
my kids and stuff. But yeah.
well,
like
my theory on that, because I
I talk about everything and
100%.
that
Well,
way
that's why I don't have a Lemon Bowl account and a Liz Delacroix account. And the reason I
Right.
never separated personal from business is because my business is my actual life. So I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
do go to the gym. I actually do eat those healthy recipes. We don't throw away food. It's not
Right.
made of Jell-O.
Right.
You know, it's not fake food. People always, you'd be surprised, think it's like fake food photos.
Oh, that's so wasteful.
No, we're actually
that
eating
would
this
be
is what I'm
you-
having for
you-
dinner, right?
I was one of
hand
them.
it out, yeah.
Guys,
So-
I did not know that Liz could actually cook. I thought it was just like
That's hilarious.
Instagrammy, like just like.
But you know what?
And she brought me some hummus. I'm like, okay, was this store bought or what? Did you actually make it? Like,
There's,
what's good?
there's huge Instagrammers out there that are like, look at this pie recipe that I
Yeah.
made with my kids, and then it's like their nanny made it. They didn't
Right.
make it, and that's actual truth.
Oh
Like,
my
Yeah.
God.
you know
And
what
a
I
food
mean?
stylist in the
But
front,
you,
yeah.
but that's just
That whole team
someone,
that curated it. Right?
Exactly, and bought the things and made the thing,
Yeah.
and took the picture, and it looked fun. But
I just-
you wouldn't be successful as a food blogger doing that.
Well,
So
my
you have to
theory, and you
be-
tell me you relate to this because you're
Yeah.
similar in that you do many, you share many different aspects of your life.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is that I'm going to draw in the people that are essentially either like me or
like-minded.
strive to be like me or inspired by me.
Yeah.
So that means that I'll be talking about all the things, and whether that weird formula of travel, food, fitness, and business works or doesn't work,
Right.
that it might not work for everyone, but I will bring in the people that are like me or whatever the right
Which
word
is ultimately what you want, because
Right.
those are people who engage
Right.
and who are going to like
Now
what
it
you
might not
do
be the most
and-
people in the world, but I would
No,
rather have
but
a
you
smaller,
want real,
highly
you want
engaged
smally,
audience.
you want people who are engaged, and ultimately, I think like more followers, more problems. Like, because
Right.
you're
Oh,
gonna get a
100%.
bunch of people who don't care
That
and
is
who are
a
gonna
fact.
snark, and I'm like, let's
Yeah.
keep this small, guys.
Right.
Don't tell anybody about.
Really.
Everyone's like my post,
That's the next
tell your
thing.
friends, post
yeah.
notifications on, and I'm like, let's not.
Yeah, that's how it all goes.
I mean, it goes back to like,
Yeah.
the conversations, like, in my opinion, like, because I'm getting into it.
Yeah.
So I've always, like, watched people go build accounts. Like, I've had multiple accounts that had a lot of followers just because I was, like, went to a big high school and, like,
Yeah, high schoolers.
You know what I'm saying? So, like-
40,000
Yes.
followers.
And then,
all
like-
my little cousins have like 50,000.
like, right? So, like, like, a lot of it's just, like, people you go to school with and, like, you went to our school, for example, like in high school. For some reason, like other people followed you because they thought your school was cool.
Yeah.
So you just had a
That's
whole bunch of people
fine.
just liked
they
your
just-
shit, just because like,
yeah.
oh,
They
got
wanted a
this.
window.
Oh, he's like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, I kind of like have to like limit my like social media to like last year. So like watching it, what I've seen is
Yeah.
just like, well, there's followers and then there's like maybe like ambassadors. So there's like people who like follow you just to like keep up, right?
Sure.
So like for example, like you might see like a big. And I've seen this, like, just watching people, because I like to watch people. Like, you see, like, big brands with a lot of following, like, will post something, and then, like, they'll complain how they didn't sell anything.
Oh.
And you'd be like, oh, so you have followers. You don't people that, like, actually follow you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, like, and then, like, you see people with, like, ambassadors or people who are, like, actually, like, yo, like, I follow this person, I repost their stuff, I believe what they believe.
And
I,
then-
like, have a connection through them
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
the internet. Those people are the ones that buy, or those are people that help other people buy, those are people that actually support, that are in your comment section. It's more than people just liking or just keeping up with you.
Yeah.
Because there's like different types of following, right? Like there's people
for
like,
sure.
yeah.
let me see what that's a cool picture, like Kim Kardashian. Then it's like, all right, like this, what Kate finds is like, I actually like the cluttering
Yeah.
video. I actually what she talks about. You know, we are the same person.
the
I'm actually like a
micro-influencer.
follower of you.
Yeah, you should try the nail polish I talk about all the time.
Right.
I'm down. I'm down.
But that's the point about the micro influencer
Yeah.
is more powerful oftentimes than like the celebrity style because they're actually gonna
I heard someone say nano influence. Is that even smaller than micro?
Probably.
Nano? I'm probably a nano. I don't know. I don't want to.
I have 300 followers.
funny.
Guys,
I
please
don't
follow me on
wanna think
Instagram.
about
Vinny. I'm trying to get famous.
All right, so
Okay,
I know,
so let's break that down. Let's start.
All right, how does Vincent get famous?
Okay. Well, I don't know if I can help you with that. So, niche out. No, I'm just kidding. So let's break it down. Like, I think, first of all, it's important to know, is it for business or is it for personal hobby? What do you, like, because I'm
Type
doing it
3
with a
wanting
hobby.
to be admired.
Right?
So for business and wanting to be admired.
You might have a
I
different
want to be admired
mindset.
for business.
Right, because you might have a different mindset with it being a business or with your restaurant, like different things that
Correct.
you're going to post about.
Correct.
Where I don't give a shit, and so I swear. I talk about things that people.
Oh, I swear too.
I don't have super controversial opinion. I like, wait a minute, I might in a minute, but
Yeah.
you know, but I don't care. Like, have you ever gone to a job interview where it just didn't matter, and you?
No, I never had a job.
Oh, that's great. You're so young. You have your own. You made your own way. Okay, I'm gonna look at Liz here. Have you ever applied for a
sure
job
have.
that did not matter?
Absolutely, Katie.
And you rocked it because all bets were off.
Yeah,
it didn't even
100%,
matter.
100%.
I think sometimes when you take that pressure off of yourself,
Yeah.
like I've had a couple times when I applied for a job that did not matter. I already had
Yeah.
another job. I had to see this through, and I'm like, dang, I
Okay.
scored that interview because I
Right.
didn't care. I took
Yeah.
the pressure off myself.
Yeah.
So I think
That's how I live my
sometimes-
life, no pressure on myself.
Well, I think so many people are like, the algorithm, geotags, hashtags. I hardly ever use hashtags because
Yeah.
it's just annoying to me. And when I do use hashtags, I get bots or slutty iClass companies that are like, girlfriend, DM me. And I'm like,
Girl, you're so beautiful and
And I'm
hot.
like,
You should
this-
grow our. You should.
You should invest in
and
this.
because I don't care,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, P.S. Don't ever call someone you don't know girlfriend or sweetie. And business doesn't happen in the comments. Like, my email's there.
All right,
DM,
so this
you know what I mean?
leads
So
me-
that's
yeah. I
like,
want to hear more.
I mean, a lot
about-
goes down in the DM, though. I'll tell you that right now.
What?
friendship connection, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know who is getting inappropriate DM. People talk all the time about how they get awful inappropriate DMs, and maybe I don't see them.
Vince
I don't
like
know.
begs for those, but I don't get a lot of.
Yeah, sometimes I
It's
do.
like, how can I?
Well,
get
I
those?
feel like
I'm a little
Instagram
vain.
is
Like, oh my God, what did you say?
It's like replace the dating app for younger people now.
Oh, that's
'cause people
so
just slide in
funny.
the DM.
That's so funny.
But I don't get.
DMs are very dangerous now, though. You might get screenshotted and.
I block
Shut the world.
every random man that's like telling me I'm beautiful. I do get a lot.
Oh, see, I don't get that stuff.
Well,
Amen.
private
I
hashtag.
love it. See, again.
Private
Because you're like opinionated, you want to
Again,
do what you
I'm
want
like,
to do.
don't follow me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have a low key. Don't
True.
follow me. I'm not trying to.
Which I
know.
think is like a great way to actually get a lot of followers. Because it's like people who are like you are going to be
Right.
like, you know what? I actually like this.
it's authentic.
Because it's like, I don't know,
and
authentic.
it's
You're not
only-
like
Yeah,
trying to do
trying to sell
every
something.
tactic in the world, right?
Right.
To get someone to follow you. You're like,
Yeah.
if you like what I like and what I have to say, you
Exactly.
can follow me. If you don't,
Come on. Yeah.
All right, so what?
Right.
I know you have a whole list here. So like, I would
do.
love to hear some of your do's and or don'ts.
Yeah.
Whichever you want to start with. Maybe something that off-put you on Instagram that influenced how you know.
well, the first thing you
Oh,
said is
gosh.
like,
Well, there's a lot.
you don't have to niche out and do like super
Yeah.
like tactical things. Like,
Yeah,
find
don't
what you
put
want to talk
yourself in a
about.
box because, like, what if your account is just? What if my account was just? What if I made it just decluttering? Because that's
Right.
what the analytics said I should do.
Yeah.
Right.
And now this year I don't like decluttering, and now I'm going to talk about food.
Right.
Yeah.
People are going to be like,
Exactly.
"What happened?"
The
And
8 months of
everyone's,
what?
and I am alienating everybody.
Exactly.
Maybe some of those people are also interested in food, but
Yeah.
maybe they're not.
Right.
Exactly.
So I think niching out. Why people are going to say, because you can grow if you find like a niche and go
Yeah.
into it far,
Yeah.
but that has to be natural. That can't be. I don't think
Correct.
it's
You
good
actually have to be
force
into it.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
That
what
makes
I've
sense.
seen in my industry is there's very ambitious food bloggers that now they're like, oh, low carbs in, and then they make whole different low carb websites.
Well, and they're
But
changing
very-
with the
correct.
trend or with what's
Yeah.
happening, and
But those are more like a business with
Yeah.
teams of people. It's not just
Sure.
one person, and it's very.
well, that makes
strategic.
sense too because you're
Right.
staying on top of what people might want to hear
Exactly.
and what's relevant
Yeah.
and new. That's
Yeah.
important.
So there's ways to do it, but I think if you're a one-man band that's not necessarily like making a lot of money from it on a monthly basis, to try to like just do it, I don't think that's the right way to become successful. I think a lot of people, once they do become successful, they're a bit more smart and strategic with it. But what I find is that people that are like, they took a webinar about growing their Instagram channel and they're like, okay, I gotta need, it's like, it's so forced and fake.
It is
It's not
forced.
based on like true.
You have to follow your passion
Right.
and what
Yeah.
what your true actual interests
And by that,
are.
you're technically are niching out, but like not to a point where you miss it, right?
Correct.
I think
Right.
like when people, how I would receive it, I guess, when I say niche out, like just be you. Well, then you're unique, right?
Yeah.
So basically,
Exactly
you are niching
right.
out. But like when you niche out too much for the point of growing a brand that's not authentic.
Right.
What you're saying is like that's where it starts getting weird.
Right.
Because like
Yeah.
decluttering is not what you're about.
Right.
It's what you did, and like it took off. So
Exactly.
technically, you were being niche because you were like, oh, I want to declare my closet today, and people also like enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But like just start with a goal. Like I'm gonna only be the but Kate declutters is like. I'm trying to get that TLC money, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to get that like big old check for a TV show, like then it's like, okay, maybe.
But I did pick that name because I thought it could be what Kate ate, what Kate wore.
Yeah.
What Kate, I thought I could do a play on it.
Yeah.
I never did, but I thoughtfully was like,
Yeah.
that could be a good
Give
name.
yourself
That
2
could
years.
ebb
You have a
and
good
flow.
I can see you like having like
Yeah,
you know,
you're so
Yeah.
early in it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Netflix, they're getting a lot of money right now, so you might just
Oh, that's good. No.
manifest it. What Kate finds Netflix special.
You guys are all big and all like, the sky is the limit, and I'm like, I'm good.
No,
in
that's
my
me.
house.
Like Liz is like, that's okay, and everything has to be
I'm
so
like,
good.
my roof is fine. I'm
And I
good.
love that. Don't fall for my big dreams and like whatever. I'm trying to
No,
do.
I want you to live those dreams. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, yeah, I'm
But
gonna, like,
also,
I'm gonna go for it till I
don't
die.
make me dream big.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, don't like, you know. I'm gonna just like push things down your throat. Like, oh my god, like Liz, you can be bigger than Oprah. All right, let's reel it back in.
It's hard to have.
Oh my god! All right, I want you to start getting into what pisses you off on Instagram.
Oh, you want to go right there?
Oh yeah.
That's
I'm
way
here-
down in the
Wait,
list.
wait.
All
That's
right,
way
all
down
right,
in the list.
all right.
But
I like the
Well,
fact
wait.
you have a list and you know you want to talk about.
All right, we'll get back to
That's
the good
so
stuff.
cool.
We'll start with the good stuff.
That
I'm
says
just
a lot
trying
about
to
your
get to the funny
personality.
part. All right, go with more good tips.
okay, so we were talking about know if you are going to have if you're doing this for business or you're
Yeah.
doing that for hobby, because
Yeah.
I think that just sort of
Helps you.
changes your mindset a little bit,
Yeah.
right? It's not a huge differentiation, but
Yeah.
it does help. So then think about, I just changed, this is so funny, I just changed my bio recently, like the little bio. You get so many characters that you can put,
Right.
and that so when
Yeah.
people come to your, if someone mentioned you or someone sees you, they come to your Instagram feed and they're like, who is this person?
Yeah.
I just changed mine literally from wife, mother, YouTube, or something stupid
Yeah.
like that. Like, that's not how what? That's so
right.
dumb. Like, I just changed it recently to like shopping less but better.
Yeah.
And, you know, my
Telling people
obviously-
what they're actually going to get.
so I think it's important
Yeah.
to treat that as like a little short resume that's like
Checks bio.
maximize.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like not a lot of characters there. Maximize
Yeah.
it. Get to what are you about? That should be like your sale. What
No,
is
yours
yours?
is pretty good.
Is your like live, love, beats or something?
No, it just
But
doesn't
that
make
might
any
be
sense.
appropriate for you. That
It goes
awesome.
23 Jamaican, and then it goes single. It just like says random like
Single.
like random like nothing that helps anybody. Then it has like Irie Kitchen, Irie Lemon, Take My Pie, Made by Parker, Purpose Driven Love, Build It, and then a link to the podcast. Like
Is that for your personal
for
or
my
for
personal,
your okay?
for my personal account.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would be like, I would hype up the fact that you were like a young restaurant owner in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, like
Jamaican,
I'm like
organic,
totally missing like.
Yeah.
the
You're
point.
mixing all the big things. So let's
I think
start
I
there.
treated it when I first met Instagram as like a Tinder profile. Like,
Yeah,
just in case the
literally.
ladies want to check out
Well, then I
what's
treated
going on.
mine as my stay-at-home
Just like-
mom profile. Wife, mom, YouTube,
Yeah.
Right.
it. You know
Okay.
what I mean? I think
All
I even...
right, good tips.
So know what you want to talk about,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you have a business, so I think
Yeah.
you should also have Grand Rapids. I think
Grand
I took it
Rapids.
off mine recently, but I think that's
I'm
important
taking
for
all
you.
these notes, guys. I'm gonna get famous.
You know what I mean?
So then clean up your bio, make it more.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is really important
Should
too.
I? Sorry, it's not. Liz, I'm trying to get famous out here. Liz
Make
look
it
at me
go.
like, oh my god, Vince,
No,
stop
this
taking
is,
the
this
No,
is good
no.
too. So the next thing I think that is important is to try when someone comes to your page,
Mm-hmm.
they only see like what's available. Like what do you see? Like 3 photos,
Yeah.
3.5, depending on how big your bio is.
Yeah.
Someone does half a scroll, maybe they see 9.
Right.
Like yeah, you deep dive into some people's account the first
Right.
time you find them,
But not always,
but that
yeah.
doesn't have. You've got like a second to get someone's attention.
Yeah.
Like who are you about?
Yeah.
Those first 6 to 9 photos
Yeah.
should tell who you're about.
Okay.
So for Liz, don't try to like make this to the point where you're now boxing yourself into what you can post about.
Yeah.
Some people who are like, my scheme of the month is blue, and then you're
Right.
like, shit, I can't post about anything I wanted to
Right.
because I'm on blue. It's not blue. You know,
Okay,
like
yeah.
you're boxing yourself in. It's
Yeah.
pretty and it's aesthetic, and that gets has its own place.
Okay, that's cool.
But I think it's important, like for you, to have a photo of you, a photo of food, a photo of working out,
Yeah.
a smoothie, travel.
Yeah.
Like you have so many different, you're
people just know what
multifaceted.
you're up to.
Yeah.
And so that
What you're about.
6 to 9 should be like
I make sure
that you rotate
one of my last
that,
few
and I
photos
think you
always
mostly
smooth.
do that.
Well, it happens organically.
It does
but
happen
I,
organically,
but I,
probably.
But because I've never had like
because it's easy for
period.
you. But let's talk to
Yeah.
Vince.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But try to have like what are your last 3 photos? It should be you, work, business, like something like
okay, my last 3 photos. you guys follow me on Instagram, Vinny McIntosh, goes to, so I just posted, I did an interview on a different podcast.
Okay,
Then I have a
perfect.
picture of me at Scotch's in Jamaica. Then my next picture is with eating my uncle in Jamaica.
Oh,
And then
cool.
following that is Liz and I.
Well, you just came off of it.
Yeah,
of
a
a
vacation.
trip, So,
So then-
yeah.
So then the other one is like Liz and I winning our awards.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is cool.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
that's good because that's representative of your.
Yeah,
work.
and then like goes back. Then another one is a video of the podcast, and then it's me and the guys saying thank you
Which
for the 3
congratulations,
years.
by the way, to both of you. That's
Yeah,
really exciting.
thank you.
Why am I here? You won social media darling of whatever. Like,
Honestly, you have a great personality.
Darling. I wish it was called that. Social media darling.
you might not have won it though. If it wasn't, I was kidding.
Okay, so bio.
Right. So bio.
Should I put my age?
Let's tie that up. Why
Okay.
does your age matter? Although I do
Okay.
think it's neat that you are a young entrepreneur.
We found out
What
about
I
the
would say,
youngest.
instead of writing your age, I would just say youngest entrepreneur in Grand Rapids. Something like that. Youngest.
But do you know that's true?
Well, I was the youngest restaurant owner in Grand Rapids
So
history.
that's what I would just say.
There we go.
I would put that.
Yes.
Put that, not your age. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was also the youngest.
But
like,
also, there's not a lot of
co-founder
characters
Mark-
available in the bio, so that
Yeah.
might take up too many characters. And then
But
you're back
maybe if we
to
got rid of
23,
like
'cause it's
purpose-driven, single, we might have a little more leeway.
Well, now there's nothing on my back. I deleted it all.
Get a quote from your favorite movie.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
All right, so
Okay.
we're
let's
gonna
wrap
buy
that
later.
Okay, so the next thing. Well, this is if you're starting out, I think that, and this might be something that you resonate with, like, don't let your friends necessarily or your parents or anyone be your target market, because they might be like, I don't give a shit about
Right.
this.
Yeah.
100%.
So, like, I try to think about that, honestly, when I'm doing stories.
Yeah.
If I think about that my mom sees some of the stuff I
Yeah.
talk about, or that my mother-in-law sees my obsession over John Mayer.
Right.
I would not post it. But I can't think about that. So, like,
100%.
I think you have to really think, like, this is what you're interested in, or you're talking to your friend who
Right.
does care about
A
what you
lot
have
of
to
people
say.
have like a little
You can't
emoji of
think
their
about-
audience. Of their
an emoji of
like
their
of their
audience.
like you might have like, so for me it's a female millennial that's health conscious or a Gen X mother that's looking to make a quick dinner.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
So you
dang,
have an
shoot.
image of your
That's a
target
bio right- I
audience.
never-
This was by
yeah.
accident. Liz, I see this.
So you have like, no, I know that's a little bit more maybe too business focused for you, but I
Sure,
actually do this for a living, so I
Right.
have to be very strategic.
Oh, and
So
you
I
should.
do have,
Yeah.
but you also do have a target audience.
Yes.
And so for me, I have that image. Now some people have names. I call everyone Susie Sneakers. It's not real, but
You do call it
but
racist.
I don't really have a name. But I very clearly have like a picture of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's based because the audience is split in half.
Yeah.
Gen X, female, millennials. So,
Yeah.
but when I do things, to your point, because a lot of what happens in my industry is we get caught up about what are the other food bloggers going to think about this? Oh, what are my like you might be like, what are the guys that like made fun of me in high school going to think? Whoever it is, those are not the people to
yeah.
be worrying about.
No,
when
no,
Yeah,
creating-
no.
Well, like Topsy brought that up about how she had someone in the past that
Yeah.
was preventing her from. So do everything for your readers. I always say readers because I'm a blogger, but whoever
Right,
your
whoever
listeners,
your-
subscribers,
yeah.
Yeah.
do it
Whoever
for
you're
them.
talking to, right?
Don't do things to also don't do things to try to impress other influencers.
Okay.
Don't do things because you think that other restaurant owners are going to respect you more. Don't do things because you think another YouTuber is going to like tag you and think you're cool.
Yeah.
Good for
Right.
that person. You need to be doing it for your audience,
Right.
for your readers. Everything should be to serve them.
Yeah.
Right.
End of story.
Yeah,
That's deep.
yeah, and like, yeah, how's it gonna help them?
Yeah.
And well, we can go into one of the things that I don't like.
Yeah. I'm waiting for this.
Because it is, how can you be helpful? And I think it's so interesting how as social media changes, as it does, and a ton of people have monetized their platform, which is great, and I
Yeah.
have nothing against it. I think it's amazing, and I think that people, and I even think people who, there's so many fashion bloggers out there who do try-on sessions. It can be so extremely, don't laugh yet. No, it can be so extremely helpful, like to have
Yeah.
what you feel like as a
No, you're
personal
right,
style,
because you've
who
exposed me
you-
to a lot of great try-on sessions that are cool.
Well, but it
helpful.
helps if you're finding people who have your style and you're busy. You don't have time to get to the stores. Like, it is really like a personal shopper
Yeah.
thing if you follow the right people.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how when blogging started, it has shifted,
Yeah.
or just even Instagram has shifted with swipe ups and whatnot. That now people are only shopping where they can get monetized.
Now,
or
explain that.
People won't tell you where something's at. They don't even tell you what store they're doing a try on with because they want you to swipe up.
Right.
That I don't like. And I know people talk about that authenticity is so important, and I think people are getting it wrong. I think people are trying to like be relatable in a fake way.
Yes.
But I think it's not authentic to not tell someone where your outfit's from.
So it's people that would only
if you're doing
it.
If you're saying I'm trying this on today, you know,
because I didn't know before you that you
withhold
can't
information.
get like the whatever the swipe up affiliate links from like, so some businesses don't participate in that, so that if they buy those clothes there.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know Anthropologie was a big one of those, but I buy their stuff all the time, especially the stuff people want to know where I got it from. It's always Anthropologie clothes.
Yeah.
So people are like, why aren't you doing more links and da da da? And they're like, that's one of the good ones. You can't get them from this. I'm like, I don't even. But not every store.
You're like, I'm shopping where I love to shop, where I like to shop, not where I can make money off of it. Because you know,
so
what,
imagine
that's
if
not
I didn't
authentic.
share it because I wasn't going to get paid off of it.
Right.
That's so silly. That's like me not posting a recipe that wasn't sponsored. Like one of our favorite recipes.
Exactly.
Imagine if I didn't post it because I wasn't getting paid. Guess what? 75% of my content is not sponsored.
Right.
Probably even more than that, to be honest.
So I think that withholding information like that, something so simple with like making someone have to swipe up, it's so calculated and strategic.
Crazy
and people will say, but it's strategic because people go there, and then like I get that it's what makes people, it can make people money. But
so do people like that succeed? Like, because I don't follow a ton of fashion bloggers.
Right.
So do people how does that pan out?
I mean, how do you determine success?
Right. Well,
I mean, it obviously is successful because people do it. People
make money off
make
it.
a living, have large
Well, I feel like you get to your brand, it's just like bad.
I just don't think it's. I just personally don't love it. There are huge bloggers, like I'm talking like over 300,000 that will tell you and will tag a brand, but will also swipe up if you want. So they're giving you the information, but here's the swipe up. That's I think the best way to do it. I get what you're saying. Because I tag brands all the time. Don't withhold information because it benefits you, not your reader or your listener.
So they will tag the brand so that
if
they're
people hit
forced
them
to
they'll
swipe
send a
up.
link like, oh, then click on this link and then you can get it.
I tag the brand so I don't get 20 DMs asking where it was from.
Sure. But you would say, I'm wearing this sweater is from Anthropologie, swipe up, or link, it's linked below.
But I don't always link because I don't have time to look up.
Which is fine. And it's
but I'll
annoying
tag
too.
Anthropologie.
I actually just last month signed up for Reward Style. I'm probably the only person
You're probably making quite a bit of money.
No, I used my first link yesterday.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I was talking about a dress that I have owned for a year now. It was one of my favorite things I bought last year, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I was still available, and I'm like, well, let's just see how this works because I have to eventually see how it works if I want to do it. I don't know if I don't know how I feel about it all. But anyways, I was like, let's see if this dress will make me enough to get a Mexican pizza.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's bougie at Taco Bell. I'm not talking about the hard taco. I'm talking about the Mexican pizza. Let's see. So we'll see.
That's hilarious.
Carrington said straight facts.
I love Carrington.
I know, me too. So yeah, I agree with that.
She's dropping great content on her IGTV these days about strategy and content strategy and whatnot. She's really great at that.
We'll tag her handle because
I don't think I'm great at talking about it. I'm just gonna do. I'm not.
I think I'm getting a lot. Like, so what I'm really good at is like this, like deciphering. Yeah. So like the first thing is like don't niche too much, right? Understand your brand, be
unless
authentic.
you're totally in it to make money, and that could be a complete strategy.
But even to make, I guess, a lot of money, I think you're right. Like the long tail of it.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like you try be niche, because be yourself and be unique. But like if picking like. I talk about olive oil. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone uses olive oil. I'm trying to make money off olive oil. Like that's kind of like, all right. Like, do you really care about all of that much?
All right.
Right? Or like you use it. Like
that's gonna be a boring.
You might talk about like cooking. You just back up a second, like forest from the trees, right? Yep. Then like clear bio, right? So like when people come to you, they have like a half a second.
They know who you are. They know what you're about.
What you're about. Like don't confuse your potential audience, right?
Yeah,
let people know, right? It's not dating app. No one cares if you're single and you're 23, you're good looking, drinking.
Those are good points,
right? Like
though.
you know,
he's like, but guys, I'm single.
Those are
things you can bring up often in your captions,
right? Like,
that's fine.
Just let people know that, like, single, ready
that's
to
what
mingle.
that's for. Expand below,
right? So I think that's cool, and I think like the last thing you're talking about is like don't pimp out your audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing about don't pimp out your audience. Another thing is Do you, and this might be a spicy opinion, do you know how many people Walmart went, or was it even Walmart? Yeah, Walmart. They went hard last year with influencers.
Okay.
So many influencers were talking about Walmart last year.
Okay.
And these are people who I have followed for years. Now, I'm not saying someone could love Walmart and be like, this is where I shop, or this is what I like. Or I used to love finding like gems in JCPenney. Like, you know what I mean? Gems at places I usually wouldn't shop. I actually think that's so fun. But you can tell, like, people who are carrying Chloe bags, they're all about the brands, and now they're like, here's my Walmart haul, and I'm like, I don't believe you.
You got my money for this.
Well, that's something I've always
and
said.
That's not real.
I turn away 90% of the opportunities that come my way.
Oh, sure.
And I have a new marketing manager, and we're literally, like, tracking it, and I always estimated that.
Yeah.
It might be 96 to 97%.
I'm sure.
And it's a bummer because, obviously, I do pay all my bills through what I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the reason I'm able to pay my bills is because I protect my brand fiercely.
Right.
So I don't really
And that's
care.
why you have a strong brand.
Correct.
Just because you know that.
And I think what happens is I understand new entrepreneurs or influencers, they want to quit their day job and they're so nervous to say no to things. But the more you say no, the easier it gets. And you're going to start to get... Saying no is a yes to something bigger and better. And the more you do it, the better it feels.
Because I'll tell you that same thing on a much smaller scale, but I had to open up an email recently because I was getting so many DMs requests for things, and now, like, I feel like going through my emails I'm like, I didn't need for this to be a job.
I know, but how do you filter? How do you filter?
Well, most of the things I say no to, and I think especially since last year, I really made a pivot with not necessarily my content, but I was educating myself on more slow fashion, getting away from fast fashion, talking about responsible fashion, which was something that I just feel like, and I don't know if it's because it's where we're at in the world right now, like our climate change and the world's burning, that I think eventually, like, everyone's going to come around to being a more responsible consumer. But I also just think the rampant consumerism on Instagram was driving me bonkers.
Yeah,
it's the reason I don't follow a lot of fashion bloggers.
Do you want to know? I had a huge epiphany with Liz. This was a couple years ago. So I was following... I try to follow like under 1,000, under 800 people now, which amazing. I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to work with a lot of brands, you're following a lot of brands and all that stuff. Yeah. But I do think that it's so important, and people talk about that now, like unfollow people, follow only who inspires you, and that's completely true. But here was my like aha light bulb moment. So a couple years ago, it was 2 summers ago, we were talking, and it was during the Nordstrom anniversary sale. It's very like, it's a huge sale that Nordstrom has done forever. It's a big sale.
I thought it was at Nordstrom Rack because
we don't have a Nordstrom. I know. But it's like the Super Bowl for bloggers because they make
it
a lot
like
of money
I was
off
in
of
Chicago. It looks like a nightclub in there when it's going on. Like it's
crazy.
like all like roped off and like drinks are flowing. It's like a thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's a huge money making opportunity for people, which I totally understand. Yeah. But when you follow, and that's why it's important to follow. Like now, I don't follow that many fashion bloggers anymore because I was so annoyed by it.
Your feed could just be filled with.
My feed was filled with, and that sale goes on for 3 weeks.
That's
so if you have like 200 people in your feed talking like it's a fashion emergency that this thing is about to go out of stock. You better get this thing right now. This thing is going back in stock. Medium's back in stock.
Oh my god!
You're like, I am gonna die. So 2 years ago, I went on a huge like. I am unfollowing all these people, and now it's like pretty. Now people start. That's what you said.
You were the only one talking about it.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this damn anniversary sale's coming up, and whatever. I gotta unfollow people, and you were like, do you want to know what? You're the only person in my feed talking about the Nordstrom anniversary sale.
I thought I was at the Rack.
Dang. I was like.
There was something else.
I follow the wrong people.
You did something else, and I thought you had thought of it for the first time, but you're like, every blogger's been doing this forever. But in because you're the only fashion blogger I follow, and so in my mind, I thought you created it. It wasn't. It wasn't like a wardrobe capsule, but it was something like that. Where I
was gonna say, was it a wardrobe capsule?
It was something that you had done, and I was like, "You're so smart, a great idea." You're not that it wasn't, but I was laughing. That then I realized
because our perspectives on who we follow are so different, and so for her to be like, literally, no one in my feed is talking about what you are so annoyed about in your feed, and I was like. Oh, I gotta look. I did that to myself.
Yeah. So the lesson is that you control what you consume.
You totally do.
And Instagram does make it easy. You can mute. You can unfollow.
You can mute. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's the other thing.
I think there's like a lot of that's a lot of stuff in there.
But here's my thing to that.
Like a lot
I
of
just want to
good
say
stuff.
this one point.
No, go ahead.
When people are nervous, so for example, when I first started posting my workouts, I totally get the whole thing. Like, we get it, you went to the gym, or did you really work out if you didn't post on Instagram?
But it inspires other people
And
who are
I
like,
get
you're
more-
going to the gym.
Right. And
Yeah.
I get more engagement.
But you're not doing swipe up for this discount
Well,
code.
no, that's
You know what I'm saying? Like every time you're at the gym, like swipe up.
That's true.
Like so, it's like,
Right.
are she going to gym because she wants to, or she going because she doesn't?
So here's what I
Right?
told myself, and you guys can tell me if you've ever had this thought. In my mind now, and the reason I kept doing it was because I got more engagement on that than anything else.
Yeah.
So to your point, it must be helpful, it's inspiring, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, sure.
And what I tell myself is that if there's anything that I'm doing or talking about on Insta stories that is they can mute me.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about how I make someone else feel. They have control of that. So like if they need to control their boundaries, they can mute me.
And
so
I would hope that would be the case.
If only 20 people want to see my content, that's better than 2,000 people that are like have me on mute. Like
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So like how I'm processing this too, I think it's another gem here is like when you understand what you're trying to talk about, you have to be in it. So like you're also not only 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago, you're not only like trying to produce content for people, but you're in your market to the point where you know what people are doing. So like you understand what the consumer or your audience is seeing at such a high level.
And
so
what
like,
turns people off.
Because,
true.
Yeah.
Because you were a consumer and audience first. So you're like, well, if I follow 1,000 people and 200 of them are fashion bloggers, so I'm like, I'm into fashion, and every single one is posting about this rag thing, I kind of feel like, again,
it's not the rag, it's
Nordstrom.
Nordstrom.
Oh, Nordstrom.
I know, that's my bad.
Not the rag. Or like,
Bless that you don't know.
yeah. I don't fucking know.
I'm sad it wasn't the rag.
So in a funny way, like, it's actually very like intuitive because it's like you like recognize that like if I'm a follower of 5 of you, my whole story is like the next 5 people are just doing the same sale. Swipe up, use this link code, whatever it is, which then kind of makes me feel like, again, like you're trying to put me out. You're trying to have me like, and we talk about this like with a lot of people doing events and like a lot of things locally. It's just like, yo, you're like asking a lot from people who like follow you. Yeah. Because like, you look at
that's why I don't like to do 2 ticketed events very frequently
because like
asking people to I don't do an affiliate sales business, so all my clients, God bless them, they pay me directly so that I don't have to make my friends buy hummus to get paid.
Right.
So something that when I started doing ticketed events, and it was good for me to go out of my comfort zone, but I could never do like 2 or 3 a month or
do
even
that constantly.
Oh my God, I have such a tightness in my chest to be like, would you please come to this event? There'll be some music.
Well,
like,
some people are very successful with having just affiliate sales for your business.
Yeah.
But I don't think that from a business standpoint, and again, people are successful doing it. I think that's too narrow. You're bucketing one thing into one.
Exactly.
Instagram's a free platform.
Literally.
Instagram could change. The way that
they're getting
you
rid of
swipe
likes
up could
allegedly.
change.
I mean,
yes, exactly.
You know?
So it could all change.
It can all
and
change.
then what happens now?
So
you
like,
need to find other ways.
Yeah, find other ways, and like being in it
Don't
helps.
ask me because I'm not.
Because like in a funny way, like I don't like I follow people, but I really don't follow them. Like I really don't know what people are up to a lot of times. Like other people have to tell me what people are up to, and just like sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, yo, I mean, like, or people like get mad at me because I don't follow them on Instagram. Yeah. Oh my God, like,
that's funny.
This was like a thing like 2 years ago, like where I'm not friends with people anymore. They're not friends with me anymore. I didn't follow them on Instagram, and I wouldn't. But I'm also like stubborn, so like you can't tell me to do anything. So like if I don't follow you on Instagram, I probably don't want to follow you. It's like, oh, you should follow me. We're friends. Yeah. And like going on your Instagram is like the last thing you posted was 2014. Like, well, you don't even post on Instagram, so I don't have to follow you. Oh yeah. But I post my stories, but like I only.
But to your point,
I'm like anything
able
on your,
to grow your business because you're not following people's stories.
Exactly, and like
and
I like being like I learned about Enneagram 3 and 4. I like being so unique. I also don't want to be like copying other people.
That's why I don't read cookbooks.
And so like I see
blogs.
And I see people like when we do something on it like Irie, like people like copy it. I'm like, I just influenced somebody. So like for me, it's like kind of cool to like see like that stuff going on. Yeah. So at the same time, like, I agree with that. So I guess like what you're saying is like, curate who you're following and then understand your market. So then you know what people are up to and what they're doing. So then you can either pivot. So when people are zigging, you can zag. I think that's how you you build like a unique brand because well everyone's doing this over here.
Yeah, like, Drake just talked about that because he and Lil Wayne are different about listening to new music all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly do not read food blogs or cookbooks because I don't want to inadvertently
take
copy someone's recipe.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why, for example, yesterday I made chocolate chip cookies and like shared. I'm not going to develop a chocolate chip cookie recipe, folks.
Right.
Like, we got that figured out.
Yeah.
So nor am I going to make like a healthy. I mean, I have a couple healthy, but it's like I'm not here to do that. So I will go online and find one, but I would rather just create something else in terms of like in the healthy food world than because for that reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
And the funny thing is now I don't consume a lot of YouTube because I'm making it.
You
just
either
because
create
of the time,
content or you,
it's just funny.
So 80% of the world consumes content, 20% creates.
Yeah.
And I think now you are a content creater.
Right. Yeah. It's funny.
Term. But like that's the truth. If
when it like flips
content,
for you, because when it flips like a light switch, then your mindset shifts.
Yeah.
Right. Because like now you're trying to speak to somebody, you're trying to like I feel it internally now. Like I have something to say. Yeah. And I want people to know.
Yeah.
Versus than like me like
80%.
I never really watched people's stuff, but like when I did watch people, so like hearing what they had to say about something, and then like in my head, like I disagree with it. So sometimes I'll like hop into comments, like, and I'll like ask a couple of questions.
It's like your friend Ann. She has a lot to say, but she's not a content creator. And you're like the one person that's like, I know, but that's what's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
But so along the lines of that, I think that people talk about that content is king.
Yeah.
But I think community is king.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
Don't you? And I think it's so huge to whether or not like this last year I sort of had, like I said, I was trying to learn more about slow fashion and just thinking more responsibly. And, you know, I wasn't like intentionally trying to, I mean, if I'm going to try to be making money, there's actually less money to be made and shopping less, you know what I mean? And so that's not really.
It's like healthy food versus processed.
It's like.
It's something you're actually passionate about.
I am passionate about it, yeah. And so I took people along on that process of like educating myself and just kind of taking people along for that ride.
You didn't pretend to be an expert right away. You showed them.
And I think that that's the thing is like you don't have to be an expert. I think people actually find it much more realistic when it's like, oh look, she's making mistakes. Right. She bought.
I messed up.
She just talked about this morning that she wasn't going to buy polyester anymore, and she went into Anthropology and that green skirt that we both own. I got it home and I was like, shit, this is polyester. I thought it was velvet. I didn't know that velvet was polyester. Like I just didn't know.
Is velvet better than polyester?
Well, velvet is actually a process of the way that the material is woven.
Okay.
Like,
but polyester is the worst.
But you can make velvet from anything, but I think it's usually made from polyester because it's cheap and it's easy and so. But what I was gonna say is that I think that community is king, and I think that finding like-minded people on Instagram or who your people are. Who wants to see my fuss? There we go. Is that community is king, and I think finding people that are like-minded, giving credit where credit is due when you see something that you love,
100%.
Or oh my gosh, you would like this thing. This person's talking about this, or I'm doing this because I saw this person do it, and they're really great because and that's something that's huge. That I mean. The only way that I've grown on Instagram is honestly from other people recommending
100%.
I can tell you every time I've been bumped from people recommending me, and then it goes up. It's from other people,
and you do it back.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
That's the thing. That's how that's the whole abundance versus scarcity mindset. Like to think that by tagging someone else, you're going to lose out. Like there's enough for all of us, and the more you do that, the more they're going to tag you. You really push me to repost when people tag my recipes.
Yeah, I was going to say we talked about that before.
I thought
you were like, why are you reposting? That's annoying to see a repost.
Because
you were thinking that other people wouldn't want to see other people, and I was saying
so. But is it weird to you to see other people making our recipes? Like, is that boring?
To see people making
when I
No. What I think is great about it is if other people repost your recipe. Like, first of all, it's great because there's people that whether or not they repost things in their stories, and so it's like, well, she doesn't repost anything. I'm not going to tag her.
Exactly.
So what's the point?
Right.
But
it's also a nice thank you.
It's a nice thank you, but it's nice to see like a real person at home who's not a professional, that's not professionally lit and shot. It's like that's what
I like to show what it looks like
when a real person makes it.
So people aren't nervous to make it.
Like I can make that Szechuan beef with green beans. That's the best.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to see that. And
I agree with that.
I think that and then people are like, oh, she reposts people.
Exactly.
I want to be reposted. Yeah. Like it's just it's a community thing.
100%.
I mean, you can't repost every single thing. Like right now I'm doing I think it's also important to like it can help you to start your own things. Yeah. And so I
like
recently,
your challenge.
Yeah. So a lot of people, Vince, you might not know because you're a dude. But you've ever heard of a 10 by 10 or a 30 by 30?
No.
But like stare.
I know.
No, so a 10 by 10 or 30 by 30 is like a clothing challenge where you pick 10 pieces.
I hadn't heard of it before.
You hadn't heard of it either.
No.
See? Yeah. Where you pick like 10 clothing pieces and you remix them for the next 10 days.
Okay,
so it
cool.
helps you to think more intentionally about your wardrobe, so you
Okay,
know
cool.
what you're missing.
Cool.
Now that I'm thinking about it, you're a guy and guys just wear like tops and pants,
Like,
shirts
same
and
thing.
pants, so it might not
Well,
be as
actually,
creative.
I've grown a lot.
But if you
like,
get a third piece, like
Yeah.
cardigan, a vest, a blazer,
Add it,
like
like-
how are different ways that you can mix it up?
I used to be like really like in a sense like pretty boyish where I had a lot of clothes.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
watched like a documentary about minimalism. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is like too much.
I
You dialed it
watched, I
down.
watched the True Cost of Fashion, or
Yeah.
the True Cost, but
Yeah.
it's the True Cost of Fashion on Netflix.
And then I'm partners with my
Can't go
friend
back.
in the fashion business,
unsee.
right? And I saw how like bad stuff are. So I
Yeah.
literally like for like 2 years went all sweats. I was like, I don't care what I look like.
I'm leaning into sweats. I want a matching
Right?
sweatsuit.
So like
in a good
exactly.
color.
So like, I was just wearing tracksuits and sweats, and I had a few that that's all I wore. One because it was comfortable and my lifestyle, but also because
Yeah.
I didn't want to like continue to like buy an H&M pant and buy one 2 weeks later.
Exactly.
Right.
Right,
It's
and then like
disposable
keep
fashion. It's
right,
not meant to last
and
long.
then being part of it, I was like, oh my god, like this is like so bad
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
earth.
Yeah.
And if I want to do like the new age, where I think you're right about talking about like slow fashion, like
Yeah.
the businesses I'm involved in, I want to be involved in, is just like make sure that we like not only have financial success and grow a great business,
Yeah.
but also like do good. And I
Well,
feel
he
like
has the only
Yeah.
organic restaurant in Grand
Which
Rapids.
is
Right.
awesome. Yeah.
and I think
Crazy.
people we have to like slow down for a bit and be like,
Yeah.
okay, like obviously global warming is real. Like there's like we have to
Yes.
have serious conversations, right?
Yeah.
And let's say
we did this.
right,
We got here.
and let's say like okay, you don't believe it's real. Well, there's
And I don't want to make anyone feel bad about it. I don't want to
Exactly.
point fingers and be like,
Yeah.
you can't go to Old Navy.
yeah, no,
just
no,
go to Old Navy.
it's not
for
about
less.
exactly.
Just
Yeah.
buy something
Or
that's
just be
not
more,
polyester.
be
Just
more,
be
yeah,
more mindful.
Be more mindful and
Or
conscious.
maybe you're like, I bought that polyester thing because I love that, and I'm going to wear
Exactly.
that 30 times.
exactly,
Yeah.
just
Try
like
to get more use out of what you own.
exactly, right? And then
Yeah.
like it might behoove you to spend a little bit more money on something
You
that
talk about
lasts
that all the
you
time.
Yeah.
a year, 2
Yes.
years versus then like the quick.
Yeah.
Always, because then like
Well,
we're not putting value on like
It's like
especially
spending more on organic food because you're going to
Yep,
save
because
all
it's
that money in the
long-term.
future and not be on
Exactly.
prescription
especially like in
medicine.
like a first world like America. It's really
Yeah.
hard. We don't value a lot of things.
Yeah.
true.
Like everything's disposable. Everything can be interchangeable. Everything's so fast.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't hold any value until you put value on it.
People want cheap
Right.
fast food thinking that
Everything,
that's the best
everything has to
option.
be like it's gonna keep going
No, no,
lower.
no.
and
There's a
lower
cost to
and
everything.
lower and
Yeah.
lower, and just like well, at a certain point, we have to ask the question about why is it so cheap?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm
'Cause-
saying?
yeah.
It's
Like
just
whether
like
that's like
food.
like there's no way a burger should be $1. You know,
No way.
think about like what's all that goes.
Why
into
is that burger
Yeah.
a dollar?
There's no
And then
reason.
there's no literally
reason
impossible.
pants should be $5.99.
Exactly. So
Right.
like we have to start.
Someone
Pay
blood,
the
sweat,
cost
and
for
tears
that.
went
Oh my
into
God,
it.
it's $5.99. Let me get 6 of them. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
And
those
I
kids.
used to be like that. If you like, I love your shirt. I got this for $10.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the whole nursery.
Listen,
sale.
I still love a sale. I
Yeah.
still love a deal. I
Come
still
on
do.
now.
I'm not totally changed. But I did post about recently that I bought a $200 sweater.
Yeah.
And so it was a sweater. Well, I bought it with a $50 coupon because I'm smart. But somebody was like, I love it, but $200.
Yeah.
And they had like an emoji face like, oh. And I said, well, totally understand that.
Yeah.
It's a hard pill to swallow too. But
Yeah.
you know what? I easily last year with my old mindset, I would have bought 5 to 6
Yeah.
really cheap sweaters from H&M that
Yeah.
I would not have liked.
That
you
wouldn't
know, a couple
last
months
more than a
later.
year.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
not have
And
lasted
there you
very
go.
long. And then I put really thoughtful purchase. So,
Yeah.
you know, you just have to, it's interesting. And-
Exactly.
And I don't care. I mean, I don't care what anybody thinks of. And that's another thing. is
We
like, I
can't
don't
all be
care
passionate
what-
about
no.
all things. It's just like going
we
to the
can't.
gym or eating organic
Yeah,
you
food.
pick your mountains, yo.
You can't. We cannot climb every mountain.
Yeah.
And to your
Yeah.
point, no one's perfect at all things. We all make, as Topsy explained, we all make priorities. And if we're not doing something, it's just not a priority to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We can't all be doing all the things at all times.
Exactly.
But
Right.
I think it's super important to have people out there that are passionate about anything.
Yeah.
I just want to see people that are
passionate about whatever
something.
it is. Yeah, whatever you're
Correct.
to talk about passion.
Don't pretend you're passionate
You
about
don't
all
need
the
to know
things.
all about it. Yeah.
Correct. And
Yeah.
that's absolutely
You
don't
can
be an
make- you can
expert.
make- yeah,
Because
can't be
even, you know
perfect.
what? Like, do you remember Oprah's favorite things?
Yeah.
Do you remember in the beginning, those beginning seasons of Oprah's favorite things episodes were so amazing because they
Yeah.
were her actual favorite
Is it now all
things.
changed?
Well, she's not. Well, her show is not.
Right.
Well, it's on her magazine. She does her favorite
Okay.
things in her magazine
Is
publication.
it all sponsored?
Well, after a couple years in, brands like they
Right.
literally
They're
was
just sending her
Oprah
stuff.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like her.
She's
25
not actually looking through.
no. So it started out from her love of products and her loving these things, and then those first few years, they were literally
The best
her
things
favorite
ever.
things.
Yeah.
And then brands like swarmed on it, and then they were submitting things to
That's
her.
like what would happen to
And
you
it
if you
it was watered down. It wasn't
Yeah.
truly what she loved anymore. I think there was one year when she cried over that she was able to get everyone iPads because she was like, this is just my favorite thing. And there was like that she wasn't going to be able to get them for the audience. Then she did. That was like the only thing on her list that I really believe she loved when iPad first came out.
That's
that
so
she loved.
funny.
Because even that was all sponsored. And not that it was bad. It was still a great list of things, but it was like watered down. It wasn't.
And you can see how it happens. You just had to open an email to get all your new free products that people wanted to send you.
Exactly.
I mean, imagine being on Oprah's level and you're just getting all these DMs.
For sure.
And then being Oprah say one thing, and you can change a company's whole life.
Literally.
Oh my God!
But you could also destroy a company. Have you heard about the Oprah effect?
Oh yeah, people who are not ready to grow.
Businesses that aren't ready and they get on there and they can't handle it. So bad customer service, out of stock, and it ends up closing their business. Yeah. So that's a lesson to people.
That's so interesting.
So more money, more problems. You know, we all
and you have to
slow and steady is not a bad thing.
Exactly.
Slow growth on
my whole business. 10 years.
I think it goes back to like even the story posting and swiping up. They're so short minded. Like Oprah gave you a shout out, great. Doesn't mean you have to fulfill everything in 6 months. Right. Like that Oprah, she's gonna rerun the episode continually. You have 5 years to get to your growth period. But a lot of people see the money like, oh my God, we're looking at like $5 million. I was on Twitter and this young lady like did a sale. She like makes like skin product. You know, she's like super smart and her product's like $14. But then she went down to $10. But like she didn't really know her numbers and it really cost her $8 to make it. Oh. So then she went down to $8. And she sold out completely and she oversold.
She's not making any money.
Now she's not making any money and it's just like, you know, she's feeling bad about it and like she's like, oh my God, I have to close my business, I'm gonna be in so much debt, blah, blah. But then my brain is like, man, if you had like people around you, they're like, hey, like first off, like be careful how you discount it, let's know your true cost. But also like you don't have to say yes to all the orders. No. Like at a certain point, like you have to be like, all right,
it's okay to be out of stock and to just be ready,
and then get ready, and then get ready, and like save it.
It's okay to not post content every day. Get ready for the good content that you're gonna. Because people talk about consistency, but I don't think that means like frequency.
Quality.
I don't think that means like every Tuesday, every day post something. Although on YouTube, I do think it is good to be like every Wednesday I have a video. I don't have a video every Wednesday, but that would be great if I did. But for my business mindset, I should be doing that. But I think that it is.
Yeah, because even at my restaurant, we sell stuff, like, people are freaking out. I'm like, no, it's okay. Yeah. We make everything every day fresh. Like, this is not like, I don't have a freezer, like, that's filled with, like, oh, we just put this in the microwave and put it back out. Like, no, like, we're out of go.
Also,
like,
we're out of go.
You're like, oh my God, like, I came to the restaurant, like, listen, like, we make everything every day. It's sustainable, like, care about it. And, like, the reason why it's so good every single day, I make it every single day.
It's like McDonald's is in the fast food business, not the food business. Yeah. You're in the food business.
I'm in the food business. Well,
another thing
McDonald's is in the real estate business, but that's just a conversation for another day.
I want to share.
McDonald's is in the real estate
business. Oh, I thought you said you were. I was like, wait.
And it might have been actually KFC. But I want to share a little quick tip. So, you know how your friend had the products that cost $8 and she was selling for $10. Something that I think business.
No, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it on social media.
Okay. Yeah. So one thing that my dad taught me when I had like a carry out, like it was almost like a private chef business where I would basically cater to homes. And something that he taught me when pricing is that a third of it should be the cost, a third should be profit, and then the other third should be to pay yourself. Yep. And I think so many people forget to pay themselves. And so they literally end up having profit is different than paying yourself. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing that people forget about is that it's okay to have a profit.
Exactly. And again, that's why things shouldn't be cheap. Things should cost what they meant to be cost, so that people can have a living wage and a working wage and a certain, like there's a reason that things cost the way they do.
Like I'm getting into,
and we just need to
like D2C, direct to consumer brands, and a lot of it, like people I talk to are just like are competing with like big brands, and like I remember I showed you that article about like Capster. And like my business brand is just like, why would you even do that?
Tell me about.
So Capster like is like a furniture or like mattress brand, right? And they sell mattresses.
Okay, Casper.
Yeah. So they buy them for $400, they sell them for $1,000, right? Then like they spend like 20% of his returns, and then or like throwaways, whatever, and then like
that's about right because we bought 3, 2 for my kids and 1 for us, and we returned ours. So that's about
really?
So,
exactly right.
Right. So here you go. So the returns, and they spend like 200 of that on like 270 of that on staff, and then 290 on marketing. So they end up losing $160 on every transaction. And
they do lose out on that because Salvation Army is the one that comes and picks it up. And I was like, I feel so bad.
Right? So like,
I'm glad I kept 2 for my kids though.
And, right? So I feel like a lot of people are in, so like this is just basic business practices, right? Like a lot of people are in that because they want to grow, they want to compete with like the big guy, and it's like no, like you like slow and steady, like build like an authentic brand, and like people will spend the $2,000 on a good mattress. Like just make a good mattress. Like people will buy it. Like it's not gonna be, you get frustrated, and it's not gonna be the biggest, but it's gonna take a little bit to actually have like real stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then like we start getting the conversation with VC money and like how they just blow other people's money, and then they lose it and they try to get big market share, and that's like their goal, and then they think they're gonna make it up in volume. But like I'm very logical, and like I'm not the best math person, but like using $160 on every single mattress,
my mind's already going.
Yeah, I know.
it's like there's no, how do you get out of that? Like you have to get bought by somebody.
Right.
But at that point, it'd be too big. It was too much debt. No one's gonna buy you,
Ugh.
and then you don't have a real business. But like seeing people like fall into that kind of stuff is like interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know, especially the fashion world. So like, you know, Parker and I make sure that we charge appropriate prices for the clothing, and then like it's a lot of time and a lot of work, and it's like, you know, that goes back to the conversation of luxury brands. Like we're not trying to take something that's super cheap and put $500 on it, like the Gucci T-shirt, you know, just because it's Gucci. But like,
there's expensive stuff out of there that's just
that's
polyester.
like, right?
Like,
and so we have to be like
it's just the brand.
mindful,
For the brand.
right? And people think they're paying for that, but like no, like, this is actually like real work.
Right.
Our restaurant, like every day we make the food.
So what's something that you've seen do well, or you know, or do you have another good negative one?
No, I have one thing that I want everyone to stop doing.
Okay, let's hear this.
Not everyone is doing it, but a lot of people
Listen
are.
up, folks. If you're doing this, stop.
Can we stop storying while we're driving?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
People storying while they're driving. Do you do that? Don't do it. You're in your 20s, so you can be reckless and make the mistakes, but I just hate it.
Yeah, I hate
it.
too.
There's no. I sound like a 40-year-old mother. Don't I?
I was just thinking in my head, like, am I
just
okay?
hate it.
Am I okay with one
And
leg?
most of the time, like their kids are in the background and they're ignoring their kids and they're talking, and I can see oncoming traffic in the glasses, and I'm like, this just looks so bad. And then they caption it too, and I can see that you've obviously took time to like write and then continue talking more.
Yeah,
I can't.
That's
I can't.
awful.
We need to stop it.
that is kind of scary,
Yeah,
especially with
that's
the kids
awful.
in there. You know.
Well, or when people like are Insta storying and their kids will come up and like they don't even acknowledge. I'm like, that's your actual life. So let's just like re-record the Insta story.
Yeah, talk to your kids for a second, acknowledge your kids.
I actually find it so endearing when like a kid, because you know, a kid.
My kids came on a podcast.
I heard, yeah. And then you're like, hey guys, what are you doing? And like you don't have to record the whole entire thing, but like you acknowledge that they're there.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
That's how my whole
You know
point of
what I
this podcast is that like I'm also a mom, and this is how we're juggling things. So when we're talking about balancing your life, and a kid walks in, and we pretend the kid's not there. This is what we're talking about.
Right.
This is exactly what I meant. How this is hard to juggle it all. Like,
and I think that's when people aren't being real.
Right.
Because they're just like focused on the Instagram. It's like, no,
like the nanny that brings in the pie, and the kids are all.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Man, that's actually like, that's actually.
Yeah. So
that's
cut
real.
out the driving.
Cut out the driving and story.
Yeah.
Wait till you get your destination.
So
what else?
What are some of your some best practices or things that are inspiring you online right now, whether it's a practice or just in general? Or
well, I think like I was talking about earlier with you know, like I started talking about it and I didn't even finish talking about it, so this is good. So I was talking about doing like a 10 by 10, a wardrobe.
Yeah,
we kind of segued out. So the one thing there is that at the beginning of 2020, I was like, it's 2020, let's do a 20 by 20. I don't know if anyone's ever done that. So right now we're on day, what is today, the 13th? We're on day 13 of it. Okay. So there's a ton of, like, I didn't expect anyone to do it with me. People are joining. Because I'm not really of the one where I'm like, we're going to do this. This is the hashtag. People were asking me, like, what hashtag are we doing this under? And I'm like,
because everyone wants that community and connection.
Yes, they do.
People are thirsty
and so the cool thing that I didn't expect from it is that for the last 13 days, and there's 7 left, like, there's a ton of people posting their outfit, and everyone so kindly is like, 20 by 20 hosted by What Kate Finds, and then
that's cool.
Like I gained 1,000 people in the last like 5 days. Isn't just from that.
Authentic brand. That's
And then something else that I did recently was I always do like a roundup of favorite things that I purchased or loved throughout the year. Cool. I usually do it on YouTube, but this year I did. Carrington and I both did a joint video, and so since it was both of us, we were going to talk about less things, just not as much time. So I was like, I'm going to take the rest of my favorites over to Instagram, which I had never done before.
Oh, cool.
And the outcome of that was that I was talking about a lot of brands. I was talking about a lot of people and female entrepreneurs that I loved that made products that I loved this year. And so many brands and people reshared it that I didn't expect. And I gained a ton just from those reshares. And so I think that that's such a huge way. And
also, like, it doesn't cost you money like a Facebook ad.
Yeah.
It's not, a ton of extra time to tag a brand. I mean, it's I think that people are always like, well, I don't have money to grow my business. I don't have money.
So
well, these are free things.
Create something that makes sense for you. And if you ask me right now to create a bunch of like hashtags or challenges, I'd be like, I can't.
Right.
But day to day, when you're thinking things through, you can. Like last year I did 2 years ago, I did a year of simple where I took, because I don't like New Year's resolutions, and so I took every month to do one specific challenge.
Smart.
And I chronicled it on YouTube, and people this year did it. People were like,
Yeah.
I did a year of simple, like
Exactly.
Katie, I made my own things. This last year, I did year of 5 finds, where I only purchased 5 things a month for myself in an effort to shop less and educate myself on, better consumerism and whatnot. And some people are doing it this year, and this year I'm doing a year of less. And it's just so interesting how, people will join in on it. Or I didn't expect it. I didn't create it because I wanted people to do it as well and tag me. But that's what naturally happens.
But I like
because
how
people are engaged in it.
I like how thoughtful you are about your brand and like how you really in your market. I think that's like another thing that you're like through these examples and storytelling you're saying is like, yo, you have to be thoughtful about your brand. I think you understand the end consumer at a point where you're just naturally doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're not like your goal isn't to get 1,000 extra followers. Your goal is to like make it your simple. Your goal is to
I
like
just want
take
this is what I
2020.
love naturally.
Like you're like I'm really trying to give you value because you're in
Yeah.
it, and then you see what other people are doing, and you're like, well, not that much anymore. You're still just creating your own thing. Where like people are like, oh wait, like she's just so authentic, so different, a fresher.
And I know it sounds so cliche, but that's the one thing that whenever people send me a message, they do say like, you're just so relatable.
Exactly.
You're just so real. You're not trying to sell to me.
It's
I
not all
know
curated.
that what you mention is going to be really good because I talk about what I don't like as much as what I do like because I think that's important too.
Right.
Because there are some people that they love everything or everything that they talk about. This is the softest sweater I've ever bought. And I'm like, I've bought that sweater. That sweater is so scratchy. Like, I don't believe you. You know what I mean? And so it's...
Oh my god, like we're like super similar on that. Like I hate when people do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Personally, because it's like, why?
I bought a premium grade A cashmere sweater from Everlane, and it was scratchy as shit.
That's the worst.
And I was like, okay, I've had in and outs with Everlane just of my opinion of them as a brand, trying to be ethical, and are they really? And it's just, I wish they were more size inclusive, and I have just a lot of thoughts about Everlane. But anyways, I was like, okay, people already know that I feel 50-50 on Everlane. I'm going to give this sweater to my kids. You tell me what you think of this. I didn't tell them, so my 6-year-old, what do you think of the sweater? She's like, this is rough. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
So now I'm like, that's
it wasn't
not
just
my
like
opinion.
2 hours after wearing it.
So I'm like, everybody's talking about how soft the sweater is because it's cashmere. That's not good cashmere. Like, so I'm like, you're not.
Is that because it's a high ticket item and they're trying to get an affiliate link?
Well, you can affiliate it.
Because I don't talk about things I hate because in my mind I'm not going to eat a food I don't like just to like tell you guys it sucks.
Well, I think it's different.
No, that's different.
With,
I know.
With
so
food.
I was like, are
But
they
it's
doing
different
it
for me for someone.
No, but
who's
it's like,
why are they lying?
No, but
about?
so like,
because it benefits them.
let's say,
for you to buy it.
You're saying for the affiliate.
And so now,
I mean, I don't
to
think
grow. Period. Right? It's just like you're so short-sighted, right? Like, I see what you're saying.
someone might think it's like our
They might think
soft
it's
barometer
good.
might be off, so that could be a thing. But also,
what
like,
you're saying.
it benefits you to say that it's awesome.
Yeah, imagine like a
to say
brand.
it's your favorite
Yeah.
thing you've
Liz-
ever worn.
Yeah,
it benefits
exactly.
you. It doesn't benefit your consumer.
Imagine a brand sending you something and then like you biting into it and then
I don't ever post
I know.
that stuff.
I'm just saying.
It happens, by the way, all the time.
No, but send it for free and like I want to try it out,
Yeah.
right? And you eat it and then you go out and say
it was awful.
it was good. Right, but you know,
didn't like it, and you said.
But
it was
like
good.
like the person who makes it
right.
soft, like there's a potential that she thought it was actually soft.
Yeah.
But there's also potential that like she's trying to make money
it
off
benefited
it.
you because you
'Cause
like
she-
that brand and you want that brand to send you
Just
more
like,
stuff.
and it's like so like
Yeah.
that's
I
actually,
forget that people are that thirsty for money. I haven't been in that situation.
well, it's just like
Or they feel bad and
they
they
feel
don't want
bad,
to
or
say that to this
but then
brand
why do
that
you?
they
Oh,
didn't like
Liz.
the
oh,
name.
see, whenever
Liz,
I want to
no. I'll give you a prime example so you really understand this. When we go out to eat.
when people ask
Wait,
my address,
no,
I
when we
this
go out
is
to
gonna
eat,
get good.
a lot of people, right? And we all hated the fucking meal. What do we say to the waiter? It was great. Oh my god, and I'm just like, nah, dude. Like, I really want to tell you that this is like really actually bad. And like, I personally feel like I'm not trying to be
Here's
like.
the thing, though.
I'm not trying to be
Here's the
like
thing.
negative, but I'm saying like.
Constructive feedback. This goes in so many different things.
Exactly.
For you, for your business, if someone doesn't like something that you made, wouldn't you want to hear back from them?
Exactly.
Like, something might be wrong with this goat.
Exactly,
it
right?
doesn't
Let me
taste
try
right.
it. Like,
You know what I mean? Like, you would want to know because that helps you make your business better.
And I swear to God, everyone that comes, like, especially just becoming friends with Liz and like her world is coming to my restaurant, like, I think the instant reaction is like, yo, this is actually good. Like, is it not?
That's so
Is
funny.
that not the reaction when people
Yeah.
eat it? Like, what? This is actually
Topsy
good.
said it.
And it's just
That's
like,
so
yeah.
funny. This is actually good.
Like, it's actually good.
Yeah.
Because we actually like tried everything.
But it's that actual constructive feedback when you're like helping
and
someone.
we're trying to make
or
it
that
actually
it's-
good.
Yeah, you're
I
trying
didn't
to
like-
Because I go to Irie Kitchen unpaid and promote it all the time for free. Like
Sure.
that's because that's
because
an
you
example.
love it and you're passionate
right.
about it and you like that thing.
Now I will say when I get it, when no one knows my address unless I give it to them, so I don't get products surprisingly. I give out my
Same.
So
Yep.
I do every time and this is a pro tip. When I give out my address, I let them know.
It's something
just
you
let
assume
you know,
you're gonna like,
I'm not
or-
going to be able to talk about this if we don't enjoy it, or if it's not something.
Yep.
If the ingredients contain, I list out the ingredients
Right.
I don't promote,
Right.
and I just let them know. Like and I also let them know I typically don't work for free
Yeah.
in exchange for products, but that's a whole
Right.
separate story.
Yeah.
So I just in general, I have no guilt not. I always let them know ahead of time though, because I am respectful of the fact that cost of good might have been big for that smaller brand, or
to send it to you.
correct,
yeah.
or even I've had big brands that it costs a lot to overnight things in ice. It's fresh foods.
But you can also make your own terms. I had a or jewelry company, an ethical jewelry company, send me. They were like, "We'll send you a bunch of a handful of jewelry." Let's say is what they said, and I was like, well, "I'm doing this year of 5 finds. I'm like literally counting every single thing that I'm buying. I can't just accept like a random obscure number of things." And so they were
It's
like,
easy to limit to 5 if you're getting
know.
like shipments of free stuff every day.
I know. And so
Hey
they were
guys,
like,
you limit it to 5, but I'm good.
And so I told them I wanted 2. They sent me 3, and so I said, "Hey, you know,
Oh, yeah, you
I
gave one
only
away.
want 2. I'm gonna do a giveaway like that I
Smart.
decided to do because you gave me this extra thing. As long as you're okay with that,
Perfect.
Or else I'm just gonna give it to a friend. But it'd probably be better for that brand that I do a
Yeah.
giveaway.
Yeah,
so
I
said
charge
I'm
lots
gonna
of
do
money to host giveaways.
Yeah, so
Like,
I was
you
like,
did
I'm
a
gonna do a
huge
giveaway.
thing for that.
Yeah. And so what they were like, "That's cool. We just ask that you ask that they follow us." And I
Yeah.
said, "I can't do that."
Yeah, because that's what.
No,
you pay
I said
for.
I can't.
Right.
I can't because I talk all the time about how you need to follow who you want.
Yeah,
I don't think that
exactly.
you should follow a brand because you're doing a giveaway. Like if I said if people come to your site and see your jewelry, they're gonna love your jewelry.
Yeah.
Like you want people who follow you. Like I was
Actually
fooling the
wanna
brand.
buy it,
I was
yeah.
like, you want people who follow you not because you're have a giveaway.
Exactly.
And then your brands, then like your
Then you have a bunch of
your
followers
follower
that aren't
number
This is, oh my
swells.
god, this gets crazy.
Your follower number swells and then it deflates when the giveaway's
Right.
over. And people do that with loop giveaways where it's like,
Yes.
follow all these
Tag
people.
Susie
follow
and tag
the-
Gina,
there's
and then
20
Gina's gonna
people.
tag
You need
Tommy,
to
and
follow
then-
us all.
That's so
It's a false way to...
I can see when it's authentic how crazy it can be, but when it's not, like you can't fake
And I have
it.
seen authentic
Yeah.
You
loop
can't.
giveaways, so I'm not hating on
Yeah,
that.
I know, but I'm saying in my brand, like
in the mindset, it's a
yeah,
short term.
it's such a short. It
growth.
doesn't.
It's
It's
not.
just like
It's not gonna
anything.
help, really.
A quick
Yeah.
fix is never a long.
This is one like my whole big thing, like people buying followers and likes, just like pisses me off. It's like,
yeah.
what kind of fake validation do you need?
Right. Yeah.
Like you're buying like a
No.
fake like,
Yeah.
and you're trying to
No.
convince like to who? Do you get more likes or a fake? It's like, come on, don't do that. That's scary.
I know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like when Instagram says they're gonna threaten
This
take
is
away people's
awkward
likes.
because Katie bought most of her likes. This is
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I just feel like it goes down that same kind of track where it's just like
Also, buy
for me as a
likes is-
brand, like me sending things out, like I actually want the influencer I'm sending something to actually like it.
Right.
Because then like I'm gonna get the first post maybe, but also you actually like it, you might go to Meijer and buy it.
Right.
Or Walmart, and it actually becomes part of your like life.
Yeah.
So then it's like then you talk about it by some like fortune of luck, right? It might become part of your brand,
Right.
and then people might actually buy it because like yo, Liz actually likes it, right?
Right.
Like when we became friends, a lot of people thought like how much is Vincent paying you to go, and it's
Right.
like
How much you
it's like yo, first off, like I can't afford this, but second off, like she actually likes the food, you know what I'm saying? And I think it goes back
But
to
also,
like,
me promoting things for free is why I have a strong brand. That's why I tag and promote many things I'm not being paid to do.
Right.
That's why we've talked about I don't do hashtag not sponsored.
Right.
And this is a big hot
Yeah.
button of mine. I don't know your updated opinion on it.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe.
I don't do
to
sponsored or
having-
not sponsored because I don't really. So
Okay.
I don't,
Well, I have
yeah.
clients, so I legally have to tell you when
Yep.
anything is sponsored.
Right.
And I also, of course, don't subscribe to people that are getting paid and not telling you. But I think people are better about that.
Yeah. Yeah. They have to, right?
I think so. I mean,
Well,
I
now
think
it's
for the law-
on open that you can make money. I think in the beginning,
Yeah.
people were like kind of worried about like,
it's also
yo,
illegal.
I'm making
It's
a lot of
also
money
illegal.
right now to like,
Yeah, it's like a legitimate business and people are cool with it as
Yeah.
long as you're up front.
yeah. Now
But
people
what
know they
I
can
what
be
I
like-
don't like is when influencers are now talking about brands authentically and passionately,
saying
just like I talk about Irie Kitchen, and having to write not sponsored. Because guess what? Every day I tag different things and I do different things. I tag gyms. I tag restaurants. I tag
so now it
businesses.
makes it seem like everything else you talk about is like
I don't want.
not sponsored.
If I forget to use the hashtag not sponsored, I don't want people to think I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I will let you know if I'm getting paid.
Right.
But I'm also going to let you know about many, many, many things that I'm not being paid to tell you about, because that's how I started doing this 10 years ago. No one was getting paid.
Right.
I started doing this influencer thing because I just happened to be influencing people to do things. So that's what I do. That is the Lemon Bowl. Yeah. But that means I feel compelled to make you feel more comfortable.
Your audience.
I know. I
for
hate
a small
that.
check or like
that's a
for
lot of
some
work
fake validation, right? Like it's not like we go really deep, like why people are doing it. We don't have to do that in this podcast, you know.
Well, know your why. Why are you? You just want
like what
popularity.
Popularity. You want fake people who
or do you want actual connection?
Yeah,
that's different. Like I do want actual connection.
You want an actual business. You want a business that lasts for like a week or a year.
Right.
Because what happens when Instagram goes away and then you're this person that just sold everything? They're not going to follow you to the next platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I feel like your followers are actually going to like wherever you go, whether it's YouTube, they're gonna. We've seen it with the Pocket, like they're actually going to go listen,
right?
Because they actually like you,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So wrapping things up, do you have a few, maybe a couple pro tips as we head into 2020? Maybe a few closing thoughts.
Don't drive in story.
Yeah, don't drive in story. Be helpful to people. So if that means tagging a brand that doesn't give you affiliate link, tag them.
Don't layer your tags. Do you know how hard it is to actually layer your tags in a
Explain
post?
that.
People tag their outfit, like what brands they're wearing, and then they layer their tags so that you can't see them. So I'm not helping you, but I want the brands to see that I tagged you.
Yo, I see it all the time.
That's another way of not being authentic.
I'm like,
it's actually hard to layer those tags. Because I got too mixed up before, and I was like, I can't pull it out.
Yeah.
Like you really don't want me to know who the brand is?
I'm just saying those. Are, like, just think about that. I unfollow people who I feel like you're just trying to.
So it goes back to like, as a user, what's helpful for you? That wouldn't be helpful for you. So don't.
Yeah. What's helpful for your audience? Why are you sharing this thing? Is there, a message you feel like it's going to be helpful to people? Ultimately, at the end of the day, like I don't follow anyone, and so I guess this is what I do as well. Is I don't follow anyone who doesn't inspire me, teach me something, or make me laugh.
Yeah.
Those are the three simple things. If you don't fall into one of those things, I'm probably unfollowing you. Yeah, and so I hope in turn that I do those things. You do those things. I hope I make people laugh. I hope I inspire people. I hope I teach someone new. And so I hope, I don't like, before I share a story, like, does this check off one of those things? I don't think about that.
It doesn't do all three each time.
I hope naturally, based on who I am as a person, that it would check off one of those things. But
well, I think if that's what you're looking for, you're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
I think I think a lot of times what we consume is what we also create, because it's like what we're naturally drawn to. Wow. So you naturally do all those things in my mind. I think that's because that's also what you like.
Yeah. And you know what? I've edited down who I follow so specifically that if those 5 people who I love following talk about the March anniversary sale, they talk about something from Walmart, they don't. Like, I don't hate them on it, because I'm like, I like that person. I'm cool. I felt like they can do no wrong in my book. Right. Yeah. I love following this person.
And that's the key.
And then I don't walk away from my Instagram being annoyed at people. Yeah. Like I never do, because why are we doing this to ourselves? Like you are doing this to yourself. If you feel like you're less than, or like you are jealous, or you don't have something, or like you did it to yourself.
Exactly.
Unfollow those people. Do it for your mental sanity.
So this guys,
declutter your Instagram.
Yes.
It's back to decluttering. This is meant to be my brand.
Is your whole,
shoot.
Oh my god.
I feel like that all started with the North.
There's some subscription bots you can. I'll send you a chapter a day. A chapter a month.
I declutter so many yoga mats and water bottles from those brands.
That's our podcast title. Declutter your Instagram with what Kate finds. The decluttering expert.
Yes. No, there's so many
accident.
Guys, there's so many gems.
By accident.
Extra by accident. I like that. There's so many gems in this episode. I feel like. For real, like first is like what? Like she said, make sure you know what you want to talk about, and don't niche down too much to the point where you're just doing it for like non-authentic reasons, right? Just because you got $100,000, but 100,000 views on something, doesn't mean that's what your brand is about.
Right.
Right. Second thing, make sure your bio is clear, concise. You know what you're talking about.
Know your why.
Know your why. Protect your brand. So I think a lot of things you've been talking about this whole episode is like how to protect your brand on social media. What does it mean to build a brand, right? I think the 5th or 4th thing is like understanding your audience, your community. so much to the point where you know what content to make. So like it's actually a good. So if people were signing,
talk about it better than I do.
Yeah, like people like, that's what I do. That's what I do.
But like, I just do it. I can't talk.
Yeah,
about
so
it.
like, I'm just like I'm good at like processing. So I'm an observant person.
You're
I
like,
listen. So like that's how I learn.
Yeah.
Like I either have to like do or like really listen and watch to like pick it up.
Yeah.
I think the fifth thing is like Liz knows this too. Like, I really had to touch the pot to know that it's hot. It's crazy. Sometimes I get burned in life.
One now. I'm gonna touch it.
I remember, yeah.
It's usually hot too.
It's usually hot, real hot. I might have lost my train of thought. I think the fifth thing is like that's already talk about your audience or understand your audience. Oh yeah, be in it to the point where you know what content to create. It's actually a good strategy to know your audience. So like I think a lot of people are doing the short term things like, oh, tactic this, do this, but it's like, how about you? Like you're saying, like how about you actually know what people want to like,
who you're talking to,
what they want to see, and like not to the point where you're just sitting in a room trying to fake it, but like you're just in it to the point where you're like, all right, everyone's doing Nordstrom, let me not do that.
Yeah.
Or like everyone, I know people want to declutter or be more easy, or like I'm personally in my life moving away from fast fashion to slow fashion.
Yeah, you can go against
let
the
me
grain.
talk
Make
about
those,
it.
yeah.
Can you have something to say? So like I think the sixth thing is like have something to say, and then to wrap it up, you know, don't store it and drive.
I was just gonna say that.
What Cake Finds. I think it's a great episode. I think we should title it something like What Cake Finds, How to Build a Brand on Social Media. I think that's like a really good title.
So fancy.
Okay.
So fancy.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fine.
And do it for your audience. Do it for the right people. Don't do it for the wrong person. Don't worry about what the wrong people will think.
Yeah.
Do it for the people that you're really trying to help.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Katie, thank you for coming on the Irie Lemon podcast.
Thank you. This was so fun.
So, guys, if you're listening today, we'd love it if you sent it to your best friend. Send it to someone that you think might benefit from this episode. I know so many people that are going to benefit from it. So I'll be texting it to a lot of you.
Are they? I have imposter syndrome. No, I'm just
Oh, yeah?
So do I.
Do you know I thought that was Munchausen by proxy for a long time? Imposter syndrome? Totally different topic.
That's funny.
I was like, that went over my head. I don't know what that
You're
is.
like you're faking that you have
funny.
cancer for.
That's hilarious.
Oh God, that you're sick for.
That's
anyway.
so funny.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
what is it?
I
What does that have
see
to do
that.
with business?
It's where you
And then I heard
you
Tassie
fake
talk
being
about
sick.
it.
It's like a weird compulsive thing.
For sympathy.
Oh,
and
But we digress. So,
Oh my God, people are so weird.
the other thing is we've gotten so many 5-star reviews, which I still can't believe. I'm so grateful. Thank you for those reviews. Are really helpful. It helps get this podcast in front of other people. Again, all about being helpful. That is the reason we're doing this, is to help others. So the more the reviews come in, the better we can do that.
Yes.
What's the third thing? Do you remember?
Follow me on Instagram because What Kate Finds will help me with my bio after this podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to check how good her bio is, guys.
If you're
Please rate
tuning
it.
in-
Gosh, I don't even know.
I know. If you are listening, tag Irie Lemon, What Kate Finds.
Oh, thank you for 500 followers
Yes.
or plus.
Woo!
We're definitely growing on Instagram. I
Thank
like
you.
to see that. We like the comments a lot. And please hit us up and ask us a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
we love all your feedback.
Please
and
ask us
comments.
questions, please, so we know what you want to talk about, so we can help you. Again, this is for you.
Yeah.
Authentically, we're not trying to like just say that, but really,
It's true.
we're really trying to like help you guys.
It's
so,
true. All right,
all right.
cool. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.